Hey guys, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm. A long time no see. Sorry that it's been so bloody long. I have been so busy. I'm coming to you from a complimentary hotel in Dubai. I've been put up in this lovely, massive hotel room, which is huge, because I had a delayed flight with Emirates to get me to Bali, where I'm waiting out my visa to move to Brisbane. So a lot has been changing, but I'll tell you all about that later. For now, what I wanted to say is just hello again. Welcome back to my channel. It's been over a month. I think I last updated you just before I went to Canada, I think. So NaNoWriMo was last month in November, and I was doing really well with it, but then I knew that as soon as I got to Canada, things would change and I wouldn't be writing so much and focusing on it as much, because when you have the opportunity to travel, it's a once in a lifetime experience to get to go to somewhere like Canada for me, and I didn't want to miss anything by focusing on locking my eyes to a computer screen. So, unfortunately, for the second year in a row, I did fail NaNoWriMo, but I just typed out everything that I finally wrote down by hand, and therefore I got to 27,000 words, which is over the halfway mark, which I'm really happy about, considering that I didn't write for a lot of NaNoWriMo. So 27,000 words, the novel's going super duper well, and I am definitely going to be continuing it. I mean, my plan originally was to get to Bali and move there for a year and smash out a book or two, and just, really focus on my writing, which is my biggest passion in life. I am going to be a best-selling novelist one day, I can feel it in my bones, but now I'm moving to Australia, which is a very long story. Basically, I met someone a while ago, and we decided to meet up in Canada. I don't know what we were at that stage, it was just like friendly, flirting, having fun. But, of course, he liked me too much in Canada. Yeah, I'm an amazing person, just couldn't get rid of him. So after spending like 2-ish weeks trapped together in a camper van with hardly any showers and living in very small proximity to each other, close proximity to each other, we just kind of hit it off, and it's worked out really well. I'm really excited for this move. I know that a while ago I moved to Spain to be with a guy, and things really turned out horrifically wrong. So, I am nervous, and I do have my fears and my worries, but I'm really hoping that everything is going to work out this time. Every time I used to leave home in the past, I would have a little bit of a tear and feel like something wasn't right, even when I went to Cape Town and moved to Cape Town for a guy, like Lyndon and stuff. Like, things it didn't feel correct. And with this Australia thing, I just have this sense of calm that I'm on the right path for the first time. So I really hope this is the case. Unfortunately, this does mean that my plans for a year of writing in Bali have been put on hold. Luckily, because the visa issue, I applied, I think today is 25 days ago, for my visa to get to Australia. And that hasn't come through yet, and flights just keep increasing in price to get from South Africa to Australia. So I've decided to fly halfway, get to Bali, and just wait out the visa there. Hopefully it comes in within the next week, and then I'll be in Australia. I'm going to have to get a job. The visa I'm on means that I can work for one company for up to 6 months, and it's a year-long visa, so I can work for 2 companies for 6 months each. So it's not going to be anything to do with writing, unfortunately. It's probably just going to be something basic like bar work or something, but it's a start. And thereafter, if all goes well, which I really hope it does, with this little Aussie man, big Aussie man that I've started a little romance with, then I'll apply for residency, and it's really exciting. I'm feeling really good about things. So I'll be writing when I can. I am in the hotel now, and I've just finished writing out a whole heap of pages from my notebook, and I think maybe I've got like a 9-hour flight from Dubai to Bali now, coming up shortly. It's like almost 1:30 in the bloody morning. Travel is life. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to write. I'm going on to chapter 12. Things are really heating up in my book, like crazy. There's a lot of like, not a lot of backstory, but enough to like really give you a good sense of my main character and kind of understand her a bit better. So that's slowly unraveling, which I'm really enjoying as well. Yeah, and the really great thing I have to tell you about this Aussie man of mine is that he is so bloody creative. He should be a writer himself, but basically like, we have been talking a lot about like a couple of little ideas, and we're throwing around ideas, and it might be quite a really fun thing to do, to maybe write a book together, you know, toss ideas around. It's not something I would normally do because I'm very independent and quite secretive about my work until it's ready to be shown, but I have a feeling that this could be something really good. I really like him, and he's probably watching this right now. If you've gotten through 6.5 minutes of this, thank you. But yeah, you're alright. I like you, and I'm really happy about this move. So yeah, I think I'm going to read you a little bit of a bit from the book. That sounds like a good idea. That's something that I just wrote, just to give you a little bit of an update, because I'm actually really happy with my writing. So here you go. Okay, bear in mind that I really do struggle to pronounce words properly, but so my reading isn't great, but I'm going to read you what I've written now. Harley had an inexorable penchant for wrecking whatever nerves I had left. The way she boorishly sliced her carving of beef made me uneasy. I found myself unable to take my eyes from her hand wrapped around the knife. I knew it was now or never. I slid the chair back and left the table. Harley barely acknowledged my movement. I slithered away hesitantly through the cramped kitchen that had once felt so spacious. Slowly but surely it seemed that Harley was commandeering my entire cottage. "Harley," I said. My voice was tentative. There was no response from her. She just kept chewing, working her jaw, crunching the undercooked vegetables I'd prepared after leaving Craig. "We need to talk," I tried, walking up behind her and slipping the side plate holding the bloody knife in front of her. She swallowed, meat slowly working its way down her slender little throat. Her eyes remained cast down onto the plate, but it was impossible to know what was going through her mind. I moved to the side so that I could get a better look at her. I could see hundreds of fine little hairs bristling on her top lip as her mouth twitched. "Harley, is this a sick joke?" I asked beseechingly. It was the only other explanation I had. It was that, or Harley really had killed her own mother. She gave me a wry look as she lifted her head, running her tongue along her teeth. "If you know something, you need to tell me," I said, feeling as though I was speaking to a brick wall. I wanted to change tact. Perhaps, if she thought I didn't suspect her, she'd open up. My mobile phone was recording the conversation in my back pocket. If only I could get a confession or something out of her. Instead, she smiled almost sadly. "I think we both know what really happened that night, don't we?" The way she played these riddles and parried my questions infuriated me. The somber look in her eyes confused and unhinged me. I couldn't take it anymore. My hand met her face with a loud clap. My open palms stung from impact. She looked genuinely shocked, her dark brown eyes welling with tears she refused to spill. She drew in a deep breath, flaring her nostrils as her cheeks started to redden, my fingers outlined in her complexion. I couldn't move. Adrenaline and anger coursed through my body. Fear gnawed at me, but I was unrepentant. She slammed her cutlery down so hard that I jumped. For a moment I thought that she might combust. Scream, wail, cry, yet she remained as silent as ever. That's what worried me the most, her silence, her composure. Brief spurts of fury. There's a spelling mistake. Brief spurts of fury or surprise, but nothing more. She took one last I can't pronounce this word, guys. She took one last lascivious look at me and left the room. I was glued to the spot, too afraid to move. The plate with the bloody blade stared at me hauntingly. I couldn't piece anything together anymore. Nothing made sense. I was trying so hard to avoid the bottle of wine that was calling my name. The limpid liquid was too enticing to ignore. I clutched onto the stem of the wine glass.
like it was my protection as I swallowed down my pills. I finished the last of the white and then uncorked a red I'd forgotten that I'd bought. I swirled the full-bodied liquid around in my mouth and coated my throat with its spiciness. My tension eased almost instantly. I guess I can finish this chapter, it's quite short. The phone was still wedged into my back pocket. I pulled it out hastily and stopped the recording, deleting the file. I knew I had nothing worth producing to the police. I was starting to doubt that I ever would. There was a message from Craig, asking if I was okay. I texted back. I'd be better if you were here with me, inside of me. Despite everything, I was horny. His reply was quick. You sure it's okay to come over? And here, sorry, just side note, cum is spelled C-U-M. Oh, so dirty. I grinned at his misspelling, but felt irritated by his question at the same time. I resented Harley then. Maybe it was the booze taking effect, but I suddenly felt more confident. This was my house. I should be allowed to have guests over whenever I felt like it. It's okay, I replied. Oh, another spelling mistake. Oh, it's good to do this. I replied and waited. When my phone beeped with another message, I smiled, aroused. Be right there. Craig snuck in quietly, and in the darkness of my bedroom, I removed his shirt. I pulled it off over his head and pressed my body up against him, feeling his warmth. For once, the house was still. No creaking floorboards or groaning geysers, just the sound of our breathing as we connected. As soon as he was on top of me, I felt safer, secure. He was my shield. He pushed inside of me, filled me up, and made me whole. I never wanted him to leave. And that is the end of chapter 10. And then I wrote chapter 11, which, I don't know, I'm not fully satisfied with it yet. So that's going to need a little bit of editing first, and then I'm about to go on to chapter 12, which I'll probably write on the plane. So that's what's going on right now. I guess I'll try and find good Wi-Fi. God knows when I'm going to get Wi-Fi good enough to upload a video, but hopefully this video will come to you soon before I move to Australia. See you in Bali, guys. Bye!